Texting and drinking is never a good idea. We've all done it, and we've all regretted it. The drunken texts you forgot you sent. Prospectors collected them in Texticated on Rock 107.
From the 915, I told you I was good to drive. A reply also from the 915 area code. I drove. You sat in the passenger seat and steered with a paper plate. Area code 858. His wife found the thong I forgot in his glove box. And from the 310. I miss the pre-COVID days when we could meet men in bars. Hitting on guys in the grocery store is just depressing.
You hit send, and we hit the floor laughing in Texticated on Rock 107.
Area code 870. There's something sensual about taking off a pair of socks. From the 208. It's all fun and games until your mom recognizes your booty call as her attorney. And from area code 860. I'm sorry, I got my lefts and rights confused because I'm dyslexic. But it took you at least 15 minutes to figure out it wasn't your room or your husband.
Proof that booze and cell phones don't mix in Texticated on Rock 107.
From the 727. Just so we're clear, drunk and naked is not appropriate attire for Thanksgiving. Do it this year and Grandma will ban you for life. From the 305. She should be a lawyer. She convinced her husband to give her a hall pass after he walked in on her in bed with her ex-boyfriend. And from area code 717. About that photo of the cake you just sent. You do realize it's a glass table, right? We can see your reflection in it, and you're very obviously naked.
Hey, we found him in your telephone. In Texticated on Rock 107. Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
Barbie director Greta Gerwig was not nominated for an Oscar. It's the biggest slap in the face at the Oscars since the one Will Smith gave to Chris Rock. Insiders say it's only a matter of time before Travis Kelce pops the question to Taylor Swift. The question, will you please get rid of all these cats? The NBA suspended Cavaliers forward Tristan Thompson for 25 games for using performance-enhancing drugs. That's 25 games without pay, so strippers in Cleveland are about to hit hard times.
It's 60 Minutes meets Gone in 60 Seconds. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
That sales guy stared right at my breasts when I came in. What is up with men and breasts? I should just paint eyes down there, then they could talk right into my cleavage. What if I just stared at a guy's crotch the whole time we were talking? Maybe I'll try that with Jimmy. I'll be like, oh, hi, Jimmy. Sure, tell me about your day. I'll just keep staring at your zipper. No, I'm listening. I just have to keep my eyes centered right between your pockets to really hear you. Oh my God, the shirt is so tight you can see my nipples. I'm getting it. Makes my shoulders look pretty good, too.
And that was another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
Inside a man's head.
Uh-oh. Did she catch me looking at her boobs? I mean, I can't help it. It's like a solar eclipse. I know I shouldn't look, but that makes me want to look more. Yep. Oh, she definitely caught me. It's like the social version of a burnt retina. It hurts. But man, is it worth it.
And that was another episode of A Few Seconds Inside a Man's Head.
Do you think predictions made 100 years ago would be accurate? Good morning, I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Here are some predictions about 2024 made in 1924. Our legs wouldn't work because we'd have stopped using them by now. Everyone would have flying clothing, meaning clothing you would put on and be able to fly around with. And beds would launch kids right up onto their feet in the morning. Oh, and radios would be thought of as silly and old school. All right, so 1924 may have gotten a lot of stuff wrong about us, but that won't be the case with our crystal ball when we start talking about life in another 100 years. So bask in my Nostradamus-level genius with today's list of top 5 predictions about 21-24 that will definitely come true. Here we go. Number 5, the Dallas Cowboys will still be looking for that 6th Super Bowl. Top 5 predictions about 21-24 that will definitely come true. Number 4, Keith Richards will celebrate his 181st birthday with a Coke binge. Number 3, So many people will be on Ozempic that airline rows will have 6 middle seats. Top 5 predictions about 21-24 that will definitely come true. Number 2, just looking at a quarterback will be roughing the passer. And the number 1 prediction about 21-24 that will definitely come true, self-driving cars will have robotic hands so they can give each other the finger in traffic. There you have it.
For the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Buffalo Bills kicker Tyler Bass got a lot of hate after a missed field goal that ended their season on Sunday. He even got death threats. But now, Bills fans are making up for it by donating thousands in his name to a no-kill animal shelter. It's a cat rescue he's involved with called the 10 Lives Club. And his jersey number is 2, so fans have been calling in and donating $22 in his name. On Monday and Tuesday alone, they raised over $100,000.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
I might be obsessed. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. I've always dug construction toys, Legos, Rector sets, Lincoln Logs. I love architectural models. One of my favorite toys, Kenner's girder and panel building sets. I was all about them, trying to build huge towers or crazy bridges. In fact, I still play with bridge simulators on my iPad, and I've spent years looking on eBay for a set of girder and panel stuff that I could use. Buildings, bridges, whatever. And I actually found one. I found a girder and panel bridge set. I bought it on eBay. I got it the other day. I can't wait to set it up in the living room and drive my wife crazy with it. But what was your favorite toy from childhood? That's what I'm asking today. Guy says G.I. Joe stuff was what I liked. John on the rock lines, what do you got?
Yeah, Prospector.
Yo.
Joe was a great toy when I was a kid, man. Really missed them. Tinker Toys and the Erector set.
I remember Tinker Toys and Erector sets.
Yeah, they were great stuff.
I never really played with Tinker Toys, but I had an Erector set.
I tried to build a crane a lot of times, but it never turned out.
Yeah, I could never get them working. I hated all the people who could. It bothered me.
Got one on open mic from the Rock 107 app right here to the Rock 107 studio. What toys were you all about from your youth?
Or little cars like Matchbox or Hot Wheels, the tiniest ones. I was completely obsessed with them. I remember my mom was really mad at me sometimes because I had the floors and the tables all scratched with the cars. Oh, amazing. What times.
Matchbox, Hot Wheels, things like that. I think the Matchbox were better quality in my opinion. That's from Open Mic. I love the fact that people all over the world can listen online and get at us at the Rock 107 app from their iPhones or Android. Alex says, I kind of did the Whammo deal, especially the Whizzer. Dana, my favorite was Care Bears and Pound Puppies. Mary on the rock lines, your favorite toy as a kid?
Yeah, I still got my Slinky and my Kaleidoscope, but what I really miss is my Easy Bake Oven.
Did you ever make good stuff with that?
Oh, well, I miss the flavor. You know, everything had that flavor you just can't recapture.
That I was cooked with a hot light bulb flavor?
Yes. So I miss that.
I'm not sure that's a flavor that I would want to miss, but okay.
Also, Patricia checking in on Facebook says, my favorite toy, Big Wheel. Remember the cool brake lever and it would cause that whole thing to slide out from you? Yeah, I dug that on the Big Wheel. Kevin says, I would pick Green Army Men. An incredibly versatile toy there as well. Kathy from Scranton on the rock lines, your favorite toy, Rock 107.
The Weeble Wobble?
As in Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down?
You got it.
Rock 107.
My favorite toy was a doll called Baby Thumbelina.
Baby Thumbelina?
Yeah, you never heard of it?
I've never heard of it, but I didn't play, other than the G.I. Joe thing, I didn't play with a ton of dolls, so.
She sang, and her head moved, and her eyes opened and closed.
It wasn't teeny tiny like a thumb, because you'd lose it, right?
No, it wasn't like a Thumbelina. That's just what the doll was called.
All right. I started thinking when I was talking about G.I. Joe, Evel Knievel. I had an Evel Knievel action figure, because we didn't call them dolls. For boys, they were action figures. It was a doll. I had an Evel Knievel doll that you had a motorcycle with, you'd wind it up, and it would pop a wheelie. That might be my second favorite toy of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab the kids, call your neighbors, and gather round the radio.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Jam Bag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
We uncover the most baffling, ridiculous, pathetic, cockeyed, laughable, preposterous blunders in the world of misdeeds. Nominee number 1,
This would be like smashing all the windows of a Rolls Royce to steal a copy of Green Day's Dookie on CD. A radio station in southeastern Oklahoma is off the air after owners say thieves cut down a broadcast tower. They were after all the copper in the cables, but get this, they cut up about 80 to 100 feet of copper and hauled it off. That's worth about $100. However, the damage they caused to the broadcast tower is around $500,000. This happened last week. The station unexpectedly went off the air on Monday, and they initially thought it was because of weather. Then they saw the tower and realized foul play was involved. The suspects got away for now. Authorities are working with local scrapyards to try and track them down.
Nominee number 2.
This story would have been absurd a year ago, but these things are worth their weight in gold now. A 23-year-old California woman was arrested last week for stealing dozens of Stanley tumblers from a store near Sacramento. She walked in, filled an entire cart with them, and walked right out the door. Employees tried to stop her, but she just kept going. A cop spotted her car less than a mile away as she was getting on the highway and pulled her over. They posted a photo of her trunk filled to the brim. She also had a bunch in her front seat and one in her cup holder that she was already using. They counted a total of 65 tumblers that she stole. I'm guessing she planned to sell them. I mean, maybe she's a huge fan, but come on. The store valued them at almost $2,500, so she's facing charges for grand theft. Cops said, quote, while Stanley quenchers are all the rage, we strongly advise against turning to crime to fulfill your hydration habits.
And the winner is...
the thieves who cut down a radio broadcast tower to steal $100 worth of copper. Yeah, you caused $500,000 worth of damage. I'm sure if you get caught, it'll all be fine. You're the Yam Bags of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107.
Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.